Welcome to the Cubs Pub. Hello again, everybody. Harry Carey. And what can I get you tonight? Something maybe to drown your sorrows? You know, all good things must come to an end, as Shakespeare once wrote, I think. Florida defeated the Cubs 2-1 Saturday night in Miami. It ends the 9-game winning streak on the road for the first-place team of Lou Ganella. A called third strike and the pinch hitter Fontenot ended the ball game with 2 men on base, and he was barking a bit at the umpire Meals. And that ended a tight ball game. The Cub left too many men on base. Brick will have the totals in a minute. Hank Ramirez, the fine all-star shortstop, led off the game with a homer for Florida in the bottom of the first. Then Blanco homered for the Cubs, tying it up. But it was an RBI single by Ross with 2 outs in the 5th that plated the eventual winner. Lou Ganella rested his 2 all-stars, Derek Lee. Was he an all-star? He should have been. And Soto, who did pinch hit, and both of them played and batted later in the game. Well, right now, the first-place lead is 5 games over Milwaukee, pending their game at Chavez Ravine Saturday night. Here's Brick now with the nuts and bolts totals. Okay, Harry, this is brought to you by HFC, by the way. Florida, for the winning Marlins, 2 runs, 4 hits. They made an error, and they left on 7. For the losing Chicago Cubs, the unhappy totals, 1 run, 8 hits, no errors. The Cubs leaving 13 men on, and of course, that was a big reason for the defeat. Now, Sanchez got the win. He's now 2-2. Marshall, the young lefty pitcher, did a fine job, but took the loss 2-3. The save goes to Greg, his 27th. The attendance was a good one, 39,124, many of which, once again, were Cub fans. I think they outnumbered the Florida fans. And the game took 3 hours and 1 minute. Harry? Well, you know, I must say, Brick, that Sean Marshall did a fine job, as you mentioned. He struck out 8. He walked 3. He pitched 5. He probably could have gone further, but of course, it was his first start in a long time, and I think you'll see him making more. Well, that's going to do it now for this edition and the Cubs Pub. And, you know, I'd be remiss on this August 16th if I failed to mention that it was on this day in 1877 that somebody who actually turned out to be a good friend of mine and a great gentleman and, of course, entertainer, a real true baseball fan, Elvis Presley, met his maker. Passed on. I remember, of course, spending a great night with Elvis, drinking Budweiser and having some ribs and talking baseball. It was a great thrill, and we're thinking of him tonight. The King. And the King liked the King of Beers, too. Okay. Tomorrow, or make that Sunday, the final game of the road trip. It begins just after noon, Chicago time, and we'll be here with an intensive recap, following what hopefully will be a great end to what's been a great trip. Repeating the final Saturday night, the Florida Fish 2 and the Cub 1. For Jack Brickhouse, Harry Carey, and this is the 1908 World Champions Network.